What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. It's been so long since I watched a WatchMojo video, but this one caught my eye. It's a new upload and it's titled Top 8 Native American Myths That Turned Out to Be True. I find this intriguing, so without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
The spiritual power of this place is an energy that we get from thousands of years of ancestors being right here in this place.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top Native American oral stories once thought to be unverified, but were later linked to real historical, biological, or geological phenomenon.
So we don't know why. Why did this species stay this size, and why did this species get so big?
Number 8, Pacific Northwest megathrust earthquakes.
Are there houses that are actually built like that? I mean, I'm guessing so, but that looks very wrong.
Long before geologists ever discovered the 1700 Cascadia earthquake, indigenous people along the Pacific Northwest already knew it happened. Their oral traditions describe the land shaking like a living being, villages being swallowed, and a catastrophic battle between powerful forces. In some stories, it's told as a clash between the whale and the thunderbird, causing the ocean itself to rise. While these stories give no exact date, they state that the earthquake was massive and devastating. Japanese records support this claim with a description of an orphan wave that struck in the 1700s.
9 hours after the earthquake struck the coast, the waves of the tsunami started to reach Japan. That's where more of the detailed reports were first discovered.
Written accounts from Japan. That's how we know the day, January 26th.
Centuries later, geological evidence such as sunken forests, coastal drops, and ocean sand eventually confirmed this event. This goes to show that not all myths are entirely fabricated.
Sunken forests? I wonder what else there's behind the ocean. I mean, below the ocean. That's crazy. So they didn't ever come back, no, then? Or some of the areas didn't, obviously.
The soil, the trees, and the written stories across 5,000 miles and 300 years all pointed at the same theory: that a catastrophic quake was possible in the Pacific Northwest.
Number 7, the waning of the sun myth.
We sit inside as Navajos and reflect on ourselves. We don't eat, we don't drink, we don't laugh. That's what we do as Navajos. We stay inside, we reflect, we persevere.
What we now understand as solar eclipse was interpreted differently by many native peoples. Some believed it marked the meeting of the moon and the sun. For others, it was a time of transformation, or a symbol of rebirth and renewal, often accompanied by silence or reflection.
The sun is called one of the great warriors, the uncle, and to cover it up is sort of implying that there is a need to set aside war.
In other traditions, it was said a giant frog was attempting to swallow the sun, leading to rituals meant to save it. So long before Western astronomy explained solar...
A giant frog was trying to swallow the sun? That's some scary stuff.
eclipses, indigenous nations were already observing and recording.
And I'm not even joking. Like, imagine you actually believe that. Ugh.
Them. Rock art and winter counts appear to document eclipse events. Notably, eclipses influenced Haudenosaunee Confederacy history and helped to strengthen the authority of Tenskwatawa, the Shawnee prophet.
And so an eclipse occurred in their territory, and that was a convincing sign to them that the message that was brought to them by the peacemaker had truth and power.
Number 6, Cahokia's advanced civilization.
For hundreds of years, generations carried baskets of dirt from huge borrow pits to make this mound. The work began before the Vikings discovered the New World and was finished just after the Second Crusades.
The city of Cahokia, an advanced civilization, was once thought a legend, but this lost city of North America was real. At one point, it thrived as the largest city of the region, with tens of thousands of residents living in well-planned neighborhoods. Hunters, traders, farmers, and even astronomers thrived in this highly organized civilization. Monumental mounds such as the massive Monk's Mound served as ceremonial and political centers, showing the city's complex and impressive engineering.
Each mound follows.
That is so cool. It's so cool. I wish the city was still preserved to this day. Does anyone know what happened to it? Like, did it just get abandoned and then, or how did everything go down?
Along the exact
How did everything disappear, I mean?
same alignment to form a city grid. The grid is centered along a feature rediscovered only today, a roadway.
Yet by the mid-1300s, the city's population declined, leading many to believe it vanished. However, recent studies suggest that Cahokia remained habitable even after the 1400s. While its demise remains a mystery, archaeological findings confirm its former greatness.
Up on top of the mountain, you can feel the spirits of all the people who were there before. You can almost hear the hustle and bustle of people in the village below.
Number 5. The Great Flood. Among the Klallam people of Washington's Olympic Peninsula, there's a powerful story about the Great Flood. Elders tell of coastal waters turning salty, a warning sign that something was wrong. A wise man urged people to flee, and those who listened gathered food and fresh water before escaping to the highest mountains nearby. For centuries, outsiders dismissed these stories as myths. That changed when an archaeological excavation at the ancient village site of Tsitwitzen revealed it was all true. According to findings, this wasn't a one-time disaster. The land was struck by tsunami-driven floods multiple times, and each time, survivors managed to return and rebuild homes and communities. This was dated around 2,700 years ago, yet Klallam stories preserved these memories. Number 4. Giant ground sloths.
It is difficult to be sure about the etymology of the name Mapingari, but
if some of these villages are like vanished or disappeared, how did they retrieve texts or journals or wherever these things were written down from? Like, I mean, I guess from old buildings or something. I have so many questions. I'm so sorry. I'm so annoying. Okay, I'll keep listening.
the main assumption is that it comes from the Tupi-Guarani indigenous language.
In stories told across parts of South America, a giant grotesque creature called the Mapinguari was said to leave destruction in its wake. Even the bravest of hunters feared it, describing enormous footprints, trees torn apart, and thunderous footsteps as it moved through the forest. While its true nature remains unclear, some researchers have noted similarities between these descriptions and giant ground sloths.
They believe quite piously that
maybe Bigfoot is a giant ground sloth.
if you see the animal, you will die. They're terrified. What did I do to have the devil himself appear before me in the forest?
These massive creatures once lived alongside early humans in the Americas before going extinct 10,000 years ago. The Mapinguari tales may be legend, but fossil discoveries
So they're real?
continue to keep the possibility alive for enthusiasts.
Megatherium reminds me of an old man in carpet slippers. The feet are rather distorted. They're turned over on their side like a man with arthritis.
Number 3. Mammoth and mastodon encounters.
Mammoths once roamed the open landscape of ancient Britain. These extinct cousins of elephants had huge curving tusks and thrived during the ice.
I'm sorry, but yes, I have more questions. If they were extinct before elephants, does that mean that elephants have nothing in common with mammoths? Where did the elephants come from then? They look exactly the same. Or if they did come from completely different things, because mammoths were extinct and elephants came afterwards, no? I don't get it. I don't get it. How? Or did the elephant come from the mammoth? And if so, how? If they were extinct? Or was there already something that was similar to an elephant, but it was not quite a mammoth? Or what? What? It must have some type of logical explanation. But if they did come from two separate things, then how does the elephant represent the mammoth so much? Sorry. let's continue.
And thrived during the Ice Age.
They may be long gone now, but once these Ice Age creatures coexisted with humans. With their exceptional tusks, thick furs, and towering frames, they were impossible to ignore. While mammoths were taller and looked more like modern elephants, mastodons were stockier. Indigenous stories have described them as aggressive beasts that inspired fear.
This is the American mastodon, and this animal was actually a lot more common in Ohio than the mammoth. And this is an example of a male mastodon.
The only problem is, these accounts don't name mammoths and mastodons outright, but archaeological findings fill the gap, confirming early humans shared land with them. Who knows? They may just be the same giant creatures native people believe to have encountered.
I need to go to a museum or something. I want to see the size of that, like in real life. That's crazy.
Number 2. Giant beaver stories.
This is called Castoides. This skull is about the same size as a lion's skull. If you look at this skull, here's a lion compared to a giant beaver.
If you're conversant with native oral traditions, then you've likely heard stories of the giant beaver. Among indigenous communities like Ojibwe, Cree, and other First Nations, these creatures are described as enormous, almost supernatural beings, sometimes as big as bears. Not only that, they're capable of reshaping rivers and landscapes with their powerful dams. They walked upright and were even as tall as humans. Interestingly, these stories aren't just mere fantasies.
That's
Fossil evidence
crazy.
confirms giant...
That's so weird that there were animals like that. I wonder, again, sorry, this just raises a lot of questions, but I wonder in like 10, 20,000 years, if Earth still is earthing and humans are still humaning, if there's animals that will go extinct and people from then will be like, wow, there were tigers, like what is that? You know what I mean? Like, will they be impressed with the animals we have now like we're impressed with the animals that there was before? Imagine a giant beaver. That's crazy.
Beavers were once found in North America. Larger than modern beavers, they were up to 7.2 feet long and are thought likely to have coexisted with early humans. This may have inspired some of the legends passed down through generations.
Now it's time to get back to work and do what beavers do best: build a dam.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. The Klamath Tales and Mount Mazama eruption.
We had everything. There's no word to describe what our land was like. It was such a wonderful place that anyone that ever lived there will never forget it.
This is an eerie example of oral history matching geological findings almost perfectly. For over 7,000 years, the Klamath people told an unusual tale of two powerful beings shaping the land. Lau, ruler of the below world, and Skell, chief of the above world, hurled rocks and flames at each other.
Some said the disaster was punishment for bad human behavior. Crater Lake, quote, came from a battle between spirits, and when people saw what happened there, they had to run into the water to keep from being burned up, a Klamath elder has recounted.
Their battle ended when Lau was sent back to the underworld. Rain filled the crater left behind, forming a lake in place of the mountain. Remarkably, scientists later confirmed that Mount Mazama collapsed around 7,700 years ago, which led to the formation of the crater lake. With such a powerful story, it's easy to understand why the Klamath people hold the lake sacred.
Multiple vents encircling the mountain so that ash and pumice were not just coming out of the summit, it was coming around from around the base of the mountain.
What other native tales have some truth to them?
That's crazy. Do you mean the lake was there because it... What about the little peak in the middle though? That's wild.
Around from around the base of the mountain.
What other native tales have some truth to them? Let us know in the comments section.
Oh, I really like that video. There's top 10 Egyptian myths that will seriously creep you out. Now I want to watch that next. Wow, that was super interesting though. I was least impressed probably by like the solar epic eclipse and all of that, since it's like things that we know that happen. But the animals really interested me, and the last one was quite freaky. Very strange. But either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys, oh my goodness, my voice, in the next video. Bye!